देख तो ले कौन लाएगा, कितने लाएगा।
वी आर लाइव।
तो देख ले कितने लाएगा भाई अभी। मैं चेक कर लेता हूँ एक बार, ठीक है। 4 ही लोग हैं भाई अभी।
आने दो यार, धीरे धीरे
देखते
आने
हैं,
दो।
वेट करते हैं और अभी।
ओके,
लगता तो नहीं ज्यादा लोग आए हैं। ओके, कार्तिक है। कितने जने हैं मैं देख के बताता हूँ एक बार। छह लोग आए ब्रो। 6 डन है भाई, 6 डन।
और भी लोग आएंगे।
हाँ रुक जा, देख सकते हैं। अच्छा तो खोल रखा क्या अकाउंट वाला?
हाँ,
तो मुझे खोलने क्यों कहा भाई, मैं हटा देता हूँ। 8 आ गए, 7 हो गए। बढ़ गए थे, कट गए। क्योंकि तू लाइव आया ना एकदम से। अकाउंट में डरेगा, अकाउंट हटाइए मत मार। तो स्टार्ट कर लेते हैं फिर अभी, रुके अभी तो। कृष्णा ब्रो आप क्या कहते हो?
शुड वी
रुक जा
स्टार्ट?
2 मिनट, उसके बाद फिर स्टार्ट करते हैं।
ठीक है।
सबको आ
कृष्णा
जाने दो।
स्टार्ट कर लेते हैं भाई। हाँ, बोलता हूँ सबको एक बार। ओके, मैं भी आता हूँ एक मिनट।
कितने लाइव हैं अभी? 9।
8, 8, 8 है ब्रो, 8। भाई 8 है अभी, 8 सिर्फ 8 है। बोल देता हूँ सबको फटाफट। वापस वो करने में भी तो टाइम लगता है। ऐसा मजाक नहीं केशव।
मजाक नहीं, सीरियस बोल रहा हूँ मैं।
देखते हैं, जीबी का वगैरह नहीं है अभी, कौन सा कोई नहीं है। पर टाइम लेंगे।
तब तक यार अमित, तुम अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे दो थोड़ा।
मैं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन मजाक कर रहे हो क्या?
अरे अरे बोलो यार, बोलो।
केशव भाई मजाक तो नहीं कर रहे हो? कम्युनिटी का इंट्रोडक्शन दोगे?
हाँ बिल्कुल देंगे, क्यों
केशव
नहीं
सर कहाँ
देंगे।
गए आप?
यहीं
और
पे
कैमरा
हैं।
को छुपा लिया फिर आपने। कैमरा खोल लीजिए, इतना कैमरा मत छुपाइए। केशव स्टार्ट कर ले भाई, कैमरा ऑन कर ले, शर्मा मत।
एक रुक जा।
तो 11 देख रहे हैं अभी, ज्यादा नहीं, 11 ही आए हैं, ज्यादा नहीं आ रहे हैं सब। केशव स्टार्ट कर दे रहा है तक अपना इंट्रोडक्शन बात कर रहे थे.
Good evening, everyone. I am Keshav Agarwal, and with me today is Amit Shah, my colleague, and Krishan Rupani, CEO and of Grow IND. So today's session is all about how Java is changing the world. But before that, let me start with the introduction of our community, that is Paradox Alpha. So our community is based on the principle that nowadays not everyone can achieve practical knowledge in their field, but with the help of our community, we will be giving them a platform where they can excel themselves in the field of technical knowledge as well as soft skills. You will be interviewed ready before the final year if you tag along with us, and we would be also be teaching you some technical skills, many programming languages, and yeah, recently we have conducted a group discussion with our team members so that they can enhance their soft skills. So this is the brief summary of what our community does and what our aim is. So let me give the dais to Krishan Rupani, who will be telling about his company and himself.
All right. Thank you, Kesha, for that beautiful introduction. So basically, I'm the founder and CEO of Growent, and side by side, I also run another company that's called Desilu Designs. I founded Growent recently during the lockdown, and what better way can it be while learning is like practice and you learn, right? You hit and trial, you practice a lot, you fail a lot, and then you learn. And that is the concept that my company Growing is based on. So before getting started with how Java is changing the world, I want you to know a little bit of backstory about myself. I began coding in sixth class. In sixth class, I created my first web page in HTML, and I was just fond with coding, and I just loved coding right then. And like in eighth class, I started Java. I created some basic applications in Java, and I remember in 10th class specifically that I created an application for a bank SBI, and I pranked my father on that, and I remember how much he yelled at me after knowing that it was just a prank. So yeah, at that point I knew that this programming would going change the world. Like the things that are getting into and the things that this world is driving towards, it's going to change how we think, it's going to change how we live. Like if we take recent example, there are technologies developed to create a whole rap song. I mean, how awesome can it be, right? There's technology to cut your hair. So the technology is going to change the world. Recently Apple is going to launch its Apple glasses, and it's going to be quite affordable. So all these things are, they are driving us towards a society that is full of technological advances, that's full of automation. And now I want to discuss that how we are going to be part of that in a developed and modern society, and how we can adapt to that. And specifically in this live session, I want you to know how Java is going to help you in doing that. So let me start with a little bit of review about why Java is really important and why Java is important for you in 2020. But before that, I want Keshav and Amit. You guys tell me what you think about Java and how did your programming career begin? I want you to know.
Okay. Actually, we are doing with the Python, so we are not practicing Java. But basically, Java is a very vast language, and basically it helps in many things, many ways of other companies. Example like you are giving us Android as a good example for the Java and other languages. But we are not still doing with Java. So, Keshav, can you explain?
Yeah. So let me start with the fact. Did everyone over here know that Java was found after Python? but Java became took the market so well that today mostly everything is based on Java, and later on the advantages of Python were found. So Java can be said to be the basic language nowadays, and many people use Java to make different kinds of apps, and many other features of Java are there. We can use it for applet. We can use it for making GUIs. We can use it for Android app development, and there are many. It's a vast field, and you can't sum up in it in just few words.
That's really true, Keshav. That's really true. And yes, Java was developed after Python, but do you know why Java took a hype while Python was still in its basic stages?
Maybe because of the marketing, and Java was at that time very user friendly, maybe, and you can
No, no,
find
no, no. The primary reason why Java took its heights is because of its special feature, that is compile one, run everywhere. It's platform
okay.
independence. That was the most important feature why Java took the heights. And at that time, while Java was being developed and it was in its initial phases, Python was really basic. Like Python, why Python was developed first of all was because they wanted children to learn coding, right? So they wanted to create a programming language that was as simple as English. So that's why they created Python, and then later on they discovered its advantages, and then they moved towards this AI and ML. But like I assure you that even now, neither Python, neither Java, nor any other language is lacking behind. We all are moving forward with full
Right.
speed towards creating a really great society. Right. So let's begin this session. And I first of all, I want you all to know that why people are scared with the term Java. Like I hear in college that Java is the most toughest language, and I keep thinking, why is that? I mean, I am a Java developer, and I started Java at 8th class, so it can't be that much tough, right? So why is that? Well, the primary reason is, first of all, people think that Java is old, but that's certainly not the case. Java is old, but it's earlier than Python. And also, Java is developing day by day. I mean, the libraries that are coming on recently and the updations, it's developing, right? So there's no reason to think that Java is old. Now, second point it comes is Java has a really long length of code, right? For writing a hello world, you have to write at least 5 lines of code, right? So that's that has no point, right? Because we want everything cut short and we want everything quick. But all these things are still developing. Like I said, that Java is updating. We are now creating libraries and files for every Java function, right? So that's a Java is moving forward, and it's moving forward with a great speed, right? And let's take one more point. People say that Java is slow and it's heavy. I mean, I want you guys to meet who is saying this Java is really heavy and really slow. Like Java is being used in Android, guys. Java is used in Android. Every Android application that you're using right now is created in Java. So how can Java be slow? And how can Java be heavy? It's simple as that. One more thing people are really concerned about is you have to spend a lot of time coding in Java. And that is the case, but this can't be a disadvantage, because programmers who are coding, they know that in a coding a long time it is a disadvantage. But the libraries that are coming, and the functionalities that are coming, the packages that are coming, the classes that are coming right now is cutting the length of the code short, plus it's reducing the time to write the code, right? So Java is developing day by day, and it is moving towards a greater future. And let me tell you the importance of Java. In 2019, Java was the most demanded language in the world. It was even more demanded than Python. Second was the Python, and third was C Sharp. But Java still was way ahead of these both languages. And the reason being these key features of Java. Java is user friendly, Java has better security, Java is platform independent, but more on that later. Now I want you guys to understand how many companies are using Java, and if I'm talking about so much like Java is that much great, why isn't Java so much in use? Well guys, you're wrong. Java is actually used a lot in industry. Java is used by Airbnb, Java is used by Spotify, Java is used by Netflix, Java is used by Google, Java is used by Slack, Java is used by Instagram, Java is used by Amazon. Java is used by almost every language out there.
I think Christian is facing some internet issues. Just we will wait for him. So as Christian said that Java has so many applications. So just give a review, like from which class did you start coding or something? Uh, many like we were all taught computers in our schools, but maybe we got some sort of interest and in computer programming languages from where we started coding. Could you please everyone give your reviews? Like from which class did you start developing your interest in programming fields? First year, class 9th. So Anurag, which language did you start with? Like that made your built your interest. And Neha, which language did you start learning in first year? Come on, guys, respond, please. Java, great. Sarthak, you started from second year. So, which language did you first learn? Acha, you're an ICC student. Same here. I also started my language learning from class 8th and 9th. That was C according to college curriculum. Great, Neha. Prachi, 11th. Which language, Prachi? Rajul, 8th. Great, great. We are getting respond. Just also type in which language did you start learning along with it. You are doing Go, HTML from class 9th. Great. So we have an interactive audience today. Hello? Yeah, Amit. It's
Actually,
8.
कृष्णा ब्रो आ जाते हैं अभी हमें।
Hello.
He's back.
Yeah, sorry guys, and my net had issues. So I was discussing that how Java is changing the world and what companies are using Java. So as I said, Airbnb, Netflix, Google, and all these companies are using Java, and there has to be reason, right? They can't be using Java just because it's the it has security features, because it has platform independence, because it can run anywhere, right? That only can't be the reason, right? So I'm going to discuss why Java is being used in these companies so much, and why as a beginner that you should learn Java. But before that, Sarthak Jain has been asking, will we get any content from where we can learn Java in short period of time? That's right. So as I said, that my company Grow, we are providing with a web app where you can learn Java with the most efficiency. In our company, in our web app, you can simply just watch any video that you prefer in on any topic, be it loops, be it if else, be it exception handling, anything. And there is a compiler provided to you right below the video lecture. And that compiler you can practice, and there are assignments given to you. You need to practice those assignments, and those assignments are related to all real world examples. And so it's going to be a really great practice for you guys. So go there, search Growint, and I'm gonna share the link soon with you guys. And so you can learn Java there. All right. Coming on, where Java is being used recently is, and one thing that I came across while my research was Java can also be used in data analytics. So that's also a really good point, right? Like in a previously thought was that Java, the Python is used in data analytics, and only R can be used in AI and ML. So all these myths are now breaking. Java can be used in AI. Java can be used in ML. So Java is fully capable of doing all these things, because the main reason is Java is developing day by day. Java is creating new packages. They are creating new libraries. So Oracle is really working hard so that Java can be on the top as it is right now. So what are main key features and what things that you can do in Java? Well, aside from AI, ML, and data analytics, you can also create designs in Java. You can create the web pages, and you can create the look and feel of your Android app and your website in Java. You can create front end in Java, and you can create Android applications in Java. You can create softwares in Java, and more importantly, you can create fun games in Java, right? So, that alone makes Java a pretty cool language. Now, one more important feature of Java is that Java has a great community support. Like you can find Java developers all around you. So everyone is ready to help you with any issue that you face. And another thing with Java is it has great connectivity with backend. So JDBC, that's Java Database Management System. So JDBC has really great performance, right? While in other in our database connectivities like in Python, we don't find it that much helpful, because in Python the database connectivity is system to system, while in Java you can use that same thing in different systems, and that makes it easier for developers and for the companies to program their softwares. Right. Now talking about Java being platform independent, right? So, and have been keep talking about, and you also have been listening that Java is platform independent. But what makes Java actually in a cross-platform language, right? So in Java, there is one key feature that in the Java developers, the ones who developed this programming language, developed in first place, and this was the USP, if we say, is that the Java code, once compiled, basically what compiler does is it compiles any code
be it in C or C++ or in Python, it compiles the code and then it converts it into OS understandable language, that is zeros and ones, right? But Java does it differently. Java converts that code into a bytecode on successful compilation. That bytecode can be shared to different platforms, and then you can run it with like in a Java runtime environment JVM, and you can and run it in any system after that if that system has JRE, that's Java runtime environment, right? So because of these features, Java is the prominent language. But why you as a beginner should learn Java, right? First of all, Java is completely open source. Till the time of its starting and until now, Java is completely free and it is accessible to all. Java has really high performance. The reason for this high performance is the Java is a compiler. Java is a compiler base, while Python is an interpreter. That means is in a Python will first read a line of code, then it would run it. While what Java does is it reads the whole code, it compiles the whole code, and then it runs it. So that makes Java high performance compared to Python. Right? Java supports multi-threading. Multi-threading is really important concept if we are dealing with a huge program and we need really great computational power. Then multi-threading helps us a lot in reducing that computational power that we have. Plus, Java has great security. Java enables us to create a application that is really secure and that is malware and virus free. Reason for this is Java doesn't interact directly to OS. Like I said, that Java first compiles that converts that code into bytecode, and then it convert that bytecode is converted into an OS understandable language. So Java is not directly acting and reacting with OS. So that makes it really secure. Plus, Java is platform independent. Like I said, it compiled once can be run anytime. So because of that, it is portable, right? So if a developer is sitting in US and you are sitting in India, so you can share that bytecode and you can work on your project in collaborative manner. One important feature of Java is hooks. Java has great object-oriented programming, and it has being the object-oriented programming language, it is really easy to code. And reason and result for that is it is beginner friendly, right? You don't have to learn anything else before you start Java, so that makes us really helpful, right? When we are developing in Java, when we are learning Java. Plus, Java is robust and it's not going anywhere anytime soon, right? So, like I said, the demand for Java is quite high right now. All right, so Amit and Keshav, I don't think they are online. Are you guys online?
Hi, Christian. Yeah, we are online.
Yeah. Hi. Now I can see you. Yeah, and so what do you think about these?
So you are right, bro. Java is taking market. I think we have a question from Prachi Pandey to suggest a career path for developers.
Java developer. Okay, yeah, great. And I'm gonna get that in a little while. And first of all, let me tell you why Java has really great career, right? And because in India we are all looking for greater salaries. And first of all, let me discuss that. And because if you don't understand why you need to develop a great career in Java, then there is no point of going through all the process. So, and I have few data with me. An entry level Java developer gets about 4 lakhs to 5 lakh per annum, right? And now that being not very much, and we all understand that, right? So, you need to learn few extra things. You need to learn DevOps, you need to learn String Bot and other things. And you qualify as an experienced Java developer. When you qualify as an experienced Java developer, your average salary moves from 10 lakh per annum to 25 lakh per annum, and that is a decent amount. But if you are thinking of going abroad, let's say UK, then in UK, entry level Java developer gets about 41 lakh per annum to 56 lakh per annum. And that's a decent amount of money. And an experienced Java developer gets 67 lakh per annum to 53 lakh per annum. And these datas are proven, and they have been verified by by a company, by in a uncle's company. And so that's why I get these datas, right? So in US, in US also, the demand for Java developers is really great. So now coming on to Prachi's question, how can I build a career in Java, and how can I start being a Java developer, and how you guys can qualify as an experienced Java developer when you get your job in fourth year or in third year, if your program is for third year. So, and first of all, I would suggest you guys start learning little by little. Start practicing a lot. And you can you can go to our own website, that's growint.com, or you can go or you can go to any other site, and you just need to practice a lot. Like you learn a concept from anywhere, and let's say you are learning oops. So you practice that, you practice classes, and you practice objects, you practice access modifiers, and you practice all those things, and then you create projects, right? So while you're enhancing your skills, then you apply for internships. You can apply on Internshala, you can apply on any other platform, you can apply on LinkedIn. So apply for internships, and many of these be free to work for absolutely no money, and it's okay for you to work for free for starting. But when you are in that internship, you are working with that company, you will get a real life experience. So that's more valuable than any money, right? So you go and do internships, you go and indulge in projects, you go and practice on HackerRank and earn badges there, and then and get into competitive programming, guys. Get into competitive programming. Competitive programming is the future, and it's the way to learn the programming language, not just Java, any programming language that you are learning. I recommend HackerRank for that, but it's up to you. It's totally up to you. HackerRank, Hacker Earth, or any other platform. Right now, and getting on how you can be an experienced Java developer. But first of all, let's discuss few points that entry level Java developer needs to know. He needs to know JSP, that's Java servlets. He needs to know oops, that's object oriented programming. A Java developer needs to know design patterns. A Java developer and entry who needs to know abstract class and interfaces. He or she should be comfortable with constructors, and he or she should be comfortable with input and output and file system in Java. They should also know exception handling. So these are few points that you need to check before you move on to higher studies and higher in getting to higher Java. So when you have checked all these points and you want to move forward, then you need to learn DevOps. DevOps is an important tool, and if you're programming anything, if you are creating any software, DevOps is really important. So if you have DevOps with Java, then that is a really plus point. That adds just 5 stars to your resume and to yourself, and that qualifies as an experienced Java developer. But you definitely need to know more. So you need to know microservices, you need to know Spring Boot. So these two are really important, microservices and Spring Boot. And also learn DevOps. DevOps is really great, guys. So I hope I have answered your question, Prachi.
Hi, Krishan. There is another
Yeah, hi.
question. Take care.
Yes, yes,
What
yes,
is
yes.
the difference between buffer and string?
Okay, so difference between buffer, buffer string and string is basically strings can't be modified, but string buffer can easily be modified. So the main difference between string and string buffer is like string buffer is object. So once you create it, then you can move forward without creating any object. So and basically string buffer is changeable, right? You can edit in string buffer, but you can't edit in string. Like if you are using string reverse, then in C, you can easily type string and dot in a reverse that and whatever the function is in C. So you write that and the string is reversed, right? But in Java, you can't do that. You need to first of all convert a string to a string buffer. Then you can apply all the string classes and objects to that.
So Manikya, I hope your question was clear. Your doubt was clear.
Yeah.
So let's move on, Krishan. I hope his doubt was clear.
Yeah, great. I've and before moving forward, I want you guys to tell the audience that you being a Python developer, what do you think about Java, and how do you think that Java and Python are they going to work together in future, or what's going to be scenario?
According to me, since I have basically mostly worked on Python, and for some time I've used Java in my school days. So at that time I used to do everything with Java, and right now I'm using Python. So I would be preferring Python because uh, since it's a very user-friendly language and it's simple than Java, where you have to write long codes for just a short thing. In a statement, you have to write so many lines. So, according to me, I like Python more because I have a good hand on it. Uh, that's it, and many functions, many complex functions can be easily processed in Python, which I've never tried on Java. But I hope it's simple there too.
Well said,
Yes, yes,
Keshav.
yes, yes.
Hello.
Boys played well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is true, that is true, but let's look at a scenario where like a beginner, most of us are beginners. So let's take a scenario what a beginner should learn. He Whether they should go for Python or they should go for Java. What are your reviews on that, Keshav?
According to me, I started with Java, so I would recommend everyone to start with Java because it's the basic. It gives you the basic concept of object-oriented programming well, rather than Python.
Mm.
Because Python starts
Mm.
with directly from interpreter, but what does Java do? Is first they help you with compiling, and then they start with interpreting. So I would recommend to start with Java.
That is the most important point, and that was the point that I was going to say. So you literally stole my words.
That's really a point.
Yes, yes, that's true. And you first need to know compiler, then you can move to interpreter language, and you definitely need to know oops, and you definitely need to know other Java programs, and you need to basically before you start any programming language, it's not about the language that you choose, it's about your programming skills. You need to improve your programming skills, you need to improve your algorithm skills, basically. And try to give yourself and a problem statement, right? And assume that a problem statement is that is the odd even car number, right? So people doesn't know, and people just go and they drive, and they don't doesn't know whether the car should be driven on Monday or the car should be driven on Wednesday. So, why not create an app which gives them a notification? Simple as that. It's not anything tough. So, that simple algorithm, you just write it down. How you're going to create it. So you can create it first. The first point is we're going to scan the number. So input the car number or input your bike number, right? Then second point would be to get that number into database. Then third point would be to scan that number whether it should run on the particular day or not. So in all these things, then write it in form of an algorithm, write it in points, right? And then you start coding, right? You don't just directly start your compiler and you directly start your coding. No, that's not the way to go, right? Right, Keshav?
Yeah, it's true. Uh, Karthikeya Joshi has a question regarding how can we use Java in entrepreneurship.
Yes, that's really great. That's really a great question. So, Karthik, and first of all, let me tell you that every Android app that you see and is the Android platform, the Android OS is created in Java, right? So while you would be creating application for your startup or for your community, then you need to know Java. You can show up for Kotlin, you can show up for other programming languages. There are other options, but in terms of security and in terms of other features, Java is really important, and that's why I prefer programming in Java. So and you can use Java in your website. You can start developing your website or your web app in Java. So you can definitely use Java in your startup or in your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, I hope Karthikeya, your doubt was cleared. Moving on, we have another question. Today is a really interactive session. Questions after
Sorry,
questions.
Construction overloading.
sorry. The question. The
What is
question is
construction?
Construction overloading.
construction overloading. Wow. So basically, when you create, I'm going to give you a really basic example. Let's assume that you have a container in your house, right? And in that container, first of all, your mom filled it with powdered sugar, right? And then you came and you removed that and you filled it with salt, right? So when you are all when you have defined a constructor and then you're calling it again, so that this is the basic of like in a constructor overloading.
Great. So I think let's give a Q&A session at the last, because first let him complete whatever he wants to discuss with us today, and then we can move forward to the Q&A session. Right? Christian, if there's no problem with that.
Yes. That's true. That's great. So
Yeah.
so I have a project for you guys. I have a project to show you guys. So basically, I created this project when I was getting started with Java and when I was getting started with designing. Right. Uh, Let me just start sharing this screen. All right. So this is the project that I created when I was getting started with GUIs in Java. So if we run this, basically what this is, it is basically an platform where you can like play the piano keys and where you can learn about chords. So there are different chords and there are different keys, so you can click on that and you would hear some sort of music out of these, right? So when I was creating this, as the first thing that I learned was about the JFrame class and the JFrame package and the swing package. So when I started this, this is where when I got the real field of object oriented programming. Like if you look, I have imported so many packages over here. Like if I was coding in C, then I would have to write everything, and this program is about 232 lines, and if I was writing it in C, it would easily have crossed 500 lines. So when we are talking about Java being the lengthiest programming language, then we are not looking over the fact that Java has so many packages and Java has the most amount of libraries, right? So here I'm using swing, library. Here I'm using AWT. Here I'm using JFrame. I'm using basically everything, and I'm also using audio clips and different things. So in this program, I didn't create any class. I only used classes that were already created, right? So this is also a flavor of object-oriented programming that you guys need to taste, because in a what we all think is that once we have we are programming an object-oriented programming, then we are creating classes by classes, and then we are running all of them all at once in main. All that is true, but this is another aspect of object-oriented programming, and we need to know this. So moving downwards in this application, in this program, and I have used many different things. I have used JFrame. I have used exception handling over here, where I've used try and catch. So basically, what try and catch means is when you're running this in amount of, when you're running the code that is inside try, then in a try block, then if any exception occurs, then it would go into the catch phrase and it would run that error. So it is all defined into the run. So this is where your multi-threading begins, right? When I was talking about multi-threading being an important part, so this is where multi-threading begins. I have created so many threads over here, so all of them could run at once, right? So these are the basic flavors. These are basic knowledge that you need to know when you are programming in Java. Keshav?
Yeah,
Hello?
that's great.
Yeah,
Can you just run the code if there's no problem with
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and show
yeah,
them
yeah, yeah.
how?
I just
Yeah.
showed how the code is being run. So yeah, this is the basic code. This if I'm talking about the J frame, right? This is this frame that I
Mm.
have created right now. So this frame is where the code, and this is the J frame,
Actually, it's
right? And
not
this is
visible.
only possible because it's not visible. Oh, okay, okay,
No,
okay,
no, no. Yeah, it's not visible yet.
okay, okay. Okay.
I think you have to
That's what
start
I was
again.
thinking, because because yeah, I just run the code and I just showed them, and I didn't know this was not run. Wait a second.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Keshav,
Yeah.
here's another question. Difference between Python and Java.
Yep. Everybody's curious.
Oh,
Great. This is what you want.
yeah. Can you explain it, Keshav? Difference between Python and Java?
So, whose
Hello?
question
I
was
think
it?
you guys can see. Can you guys
Yeah,
I
see
yeah.
the
think
photo
question
right now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So
maybe.
so this window that I just popped up, this window is created by JFrame, and this is only possible because of Swing classes and Swing library, right? So there are different buttons over here. So whenever I click on any button, a sound comes, and it's regarding to that node in the piano, and so these kinds of application is created in Java, and you can go much beyond, and you can create anything that you want in Java. So that is the reason that we love Java. So and that's it, I guess. And if we are talking about the code, and if we are talking about the application and multi-threading, then let's see, like in this is also a thread, and then we move forward, and this is another thread. So all these threads are running one by not one by one, they are running simultaneously, right? So when they're running simultaneously, it's reducing a lot of computational power, and that's why it has the great capacity. All right.
Yeah, right. So we have a question over here saying asking that what's the difference between Java and Python? See, uh,
Yes, yes, yes.
Rajul, let's take example of we want to print hello world. Okay, for Java, you need to first make a class. Then you need to make the main function that will automatically run because of the keyword static. And Christian, please correct me if I'm wrong somewhere. And
Yes,
then
yes,
you
yes.
will uh, write a statement saying system.out.println, and in the codes you have to say whatever you want to print. Let's say hello world, and then you have to use semicolon. That's the mistake every programmers make, right? Not putting semicolon at the end of the statement. But when you
Yes,
use
yes.
But when you use Python, you don't make the same mistake because you don't need to use Python over there. You just write print and whatever your statement is. That's it. So it's a lightweight in terms of lines of code, not like it puts some pressure. But yeah, it's lightweight when it comes to lines of codes. But on the other hand, Java, it takes long. It takes lots of lines. And Christian, if it's not too much, then can you also give some points on it?
Alright, definitely. So, yeah, so the main difference between Java and Python is Java is a compiler, while Python is an interpreter. What this means is Java, first of all, compiles the whole code and then it runs it. While Python, what it does is it compiles line by line. It first of all reads the line, it compiles it, and then it runs it. So, all that is taking a lot of computational power. That's why Java is preferred, and that's why Java has great speed, right? So this is the main difference between Java and Python. Now second difference comes is Java is more secure. So when we're talking about security, what it means is Java code is not directly contacting OS, right? Java is not compiling and running and converting the code into OS understandable code, that is zeros and ones. So it makes it easier for programmers, and it makes it easier for us to create those security patches and upload it whenever we need or whenever there is a security breach. uh, and one most important difference between Python and Java is Python is really beginner friendly, right? Like you can learn it, you can make a 6-year-old learn in a Python. It's that much easy because it's basic English. The basic Python can be learned by a sixth class student or a seventh class student. It's totally doable. It's not anything that we are shocked because a seventh class student knows Python. So, that is the main differences between these two languages. I hope Rajul, I have answered your question.
Rajal, could you just comment it out if you have understood the difference between Python and Java? Okay, let's move forward. Uh, Christian,
Yes, yes, yes.
let's move forward, and then at last we would be taking questions. Acha, he got disconnected. So now let's. Acha, he's back.
Start. I I think network issue. We don't do.
Yes, yes, guys, we need to wind up the session because my battery is about to die and it's not going to charge anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, can we move to Q&A?
Okay, yeah, we can move to Q&A. Question is from Kartikeya Joshi.
Yes.
Yeah, can you tell me the platform in which you made your project, which you are showing?
Okay, so the compiler that I am using is IntelliJ IDEA. I recommend this compiler if you're a beginner because, like, many of us start coding in Node. notepad plus plus, and then we run it on our command prompt. While that's a really great thing and we can do that, but IntelliJ IDEA, what it does is it's providing you a lot of libraries, it's providing you a lot of packages, plus it has great suggestions, and it the warnings and errors that it displays, it actually provides you a little bit of solution. So I'm using IntelliJ IDEA. You can download it. It's an open source. So and that's the platform that I'm using.
Great. Now we have a question from Manik here,
Yes.
stating what are the fundamental principles of object-oriented programming?
So basically, the basic fundamentals are four. There is inheritance, there's polymorphism, and then there is abstract class. And so you need to learn all these when you are practicing, when you are learning object-oriented programming. So you need to go through them one by one, and when you learn this, you make sure that you're applying these knowledge.
Can we go in some depth, like what are the principles, like encapsulation and all?
So okay, so if I'm talking about let's say inheritance, and let's begin with inheritance. So basically what inheritance means is that there we have created two classes, right? And let's not take in a coding example. Let's make you understand with a simple and a real world example. We have in every family there is a father and there is a son, right? So father has some properties. Maybe he has a oval shaped face, right? So the son has inherited that. That's what we say, right? A son also has an oval shaped face. So we say that son has inherited the father's property. Same thing is in coding, right? So in coding, and if we talk about it in Java, so in Java you have created one class. Let's say the class is parent, and then you have created another class child, and that extends to a parent class, right? So suppose you have created a variable in that parent class, and suppose the variable is a, right? And you have created a constructor parent in your parent class, right? And you want to access it in your child class. So you can do that through because you have used an inheritance concept over there. You have put extend parent, like the basic syntax is class, the class name, and then the class body. But here you have written class, the class name, that's child, and then extend parent, right? So it is inheriting that parent class. So and the same way, if we talk about encapsulation, so encapsulation is basically in a let's take another real world example. How notice how in any wire, if we have cut any wire, there are few layers in it, right? The main optical wire is inside, and there are rubber coating, and then there is another coating over that. So this is the encapsulation of data is basically done because we have to secure the data, right? So this is like this is what means by encapsulation, right?
Yeah. So I think he's asking another thing. What do you mean by inheritance in Java? I suppose you just can you give a demonstration like extends keyword and all?
uh, Let me see, I do have some codes for that,
Okay.
but uh, I haven't used inheritance in my code that I know. So if I run this code, you won't be able to understand it. Yes. Okay, guys, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible. No.
Okay, okay. So, and this is the basic student management system, and I should thank Manika because, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have opened this program. And I also forgot to tell you about this in a JDBC, right? So, first of all, it's about the inheritance, right? So in inheritance, like if you can see class, display, and extends con. So basically, I have created a class con where I have created a connection, right? And this connection is to the in a database on in backend using WAMP server, right? So and there is this in a class, and then I need to use in these classes functions like connection con and statement. And so that's why I have created another class display, which is going to display the marks and the roll number of students. And I have used I'm able to use this because I have extended it to a con class, right? So in this scenario, display class is child class, and a con class is the parent class, right? I hope you have understood. And the same way it is here as well. Class add extend con. So what this means is in a con has another child add. So in a this add class is also using connections and variables used in con class, right? So same way there is class delete where you can delete the student data, and then it is also extending to a con class. So here also you are using inheritance.
So I think everybody has their doubts cleared. So it was a great session. Uh, Christian, it was a really great session and it was really informative.
Yes.
I
Thank
want this session again and
It's my
again.
pleasure. It's my pleasure coming here.
Let's wind up now. If anybody has a question, then please do ask. And I will be providing the link to the Grow India website right away. So this is the website
And guys,
for Grow.
please don't judge on the UI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and please don't judge on the UI. It's just basic prototype. All right. So I guess that's it.
Yeah. So thank you everyone. Thank you,
All right.
Krishan,
Thank you.
for such a good session.
Thank you, Keshav. Thank you,
Yeah.
Amit. Bye. Have a good day. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day too.